Hello and welcome to Rooted and Rich. I'm Erica Nago, and today I want to talk about New Year, New Me. Every year we talk about hey, it's going to be a new year, new me, and that is old news. And so today I want to talk about how we can have sustainable success from the new year on to the end of the year. I'm hoping that if you watch this video by December 31st of 2026, you will feel rejuvenated in your finances. You'll feel refreshed and you'll feel like you have things in place just the way you want them. What happens is this: we have goals, and that's great. We all set goals at the beginning of the year, and by March they have dissipated. But goals are not what gets you what you want. Systems are. We have to put systems in place to get to meet our goals, because if not, goals will fall off. So I wanted to talk to you about 3 systems that I want you to put in place this holiday season or this new year in order for you to see financial success going forward and throughout 2026. The first few things I want you to do are things that I've already talked about in these videos, but if you're finding me for the first time, give me a like, subscribe, and you will feel more and more content going deeper into all of these areas going forward. So the first area that I want you to think about is your savings. I want you to think about, what do you want to save for? How much do you need to save? And I want you to create a system. Once you have named that goal and you have talked about what that goal is and how much it is, let's do it. If your goal this year is to save $5,000 for an emergency fund, how much money a month do you need to put away to do that? I want you to do a simple math. How much money it would take you to how much money it would take you each pay period to put that money away, and I want you to pay yourself first. Trying to scrape by money after you paid all your bills is a hope, not a goal. So if you are gonna just say you want to save $5,000 and you're going to just hope each pay period, after you paid your bills, that you have enough money to put together $5,000 over the course of the year, you won't. You're not that disciplined, and it won't happen, because we have to make our goals a priority and we have to put system in place. So I would say to name that goal, have that money go directly to an account, a separate account, like a high yield savings account, and I would automate it. I would not worry about trying to do that after I've paid everybody else. We're going to pay ourselves first. The next thing I would look at is debt repayment. I know all of you guys are in different stages of debt repayment. Some of you guys only have mortgage debt, some of you guys have car loan debt, and some of you have a combination of all of that: credit card, a car loan, as well as mortgage. I would say let's be strategic in all of those. So if you are in credit card debt, I would say that the snowball will be the perfect step for you. I want you to automate all of your payments on the minimum payment, and I want you to attack the smallest debt first, giving extra money to it, even if it's an extra $50. Every additional amount of money, I want you to work to pay off that, paying the max you can pay, and I want you to pay that up top, up front. Make it as a bill, and I want you to pay that one off, and then I want you to take the money you were paying to that one and snowball it into the next payment. I talk about the snowball payment in more videos to come. I'll talk a little bit more of debt repayment, but I want you to think about that. With your mortgage payment, a system you can put into place is to pay your mortgage every pay period. What this does is it allows you to pay off your mortgage faster. So you can pay twice a month, which ends up being, or every pay period, which ends up being 26 payments a year instead of 26 payments a year, and actually helps you to pay one full payment more just by splitting your payment, the same payment that you were going to pay, into two payments, and paying it regularly and setting that up automatic, so that now you're able to make extra payment every year, and you can shave your mortgage in half, or by 5 years or 10 years. And who doesn't want to do that? If you're having a car loan, I would suggest that you throw extra money to the principal. I want you to be strategic this year. And if you're paying off your car this year, I want you to set aside an amount of money, whether that's $100, $50, $25, and I want you to pay to the principal. Remember that the interest is applied to the amount, the principal amount. So if you lower the amount of the principal, you lower the amount of interest you pay over time. So attack that debt. The next system I want you to put in place, and I have a whole video coming out on investing, but I want you to automate your retirement savings. I want you to either look at the percentage you're currently giving, and I want you to up it and be strategic about upping it. I want you to up it at least 1%, if not 2%. And I want you to, if you have not started, I want you to put get with your human resources or your intranet site, fill out the paperwork, and I want you to start with 3%. That was the advice my mother gave me when I started investing in my retirement. It was a low number, and I eventually did up it, but you have to start. If you want to see success this year in your system, those systems have to be something that you start. Through your job, they will allow you to automate it, so you will see that come out of your check prior to you ever getting it as well. So it'll have automation, as well as you'll be paying yourself first, and your future self will thank you later. If you get a match from your employer, I would suggest that you try your best to do the percentage that your employers match. So whether that's 5%, 7%, or 8%, I want you to put your money to the match, up to the match if you can. If not, just start with the 3%. This will allow you to have a system in place that will allow you to retire inspired, and not retire having to work at Walmart unless you want to work at Walmart, or having to work someplace you don't want to work, or have a second job in retirement. So I want you to go ahead and automate. The next system I want you to think about is generosity. You guys, generosity unlocks the keys to God's blessing. And I tell you this because when you give, it says that it will be given back unto you. So I think about in giving, like everything that we give is a seed. And when you plant a seed, do you get back a seed? No, you get back more than what you ever thought you could get. And so I would implore you to set up giving automated, whether that's tithes or charitable giving or whatever that may be, whether it's an employer sponsored giving where you give to like United Way, or plan to give, because giving opens up the door and unlocks the opportunity for you to receive more than you can expect. And I'm not saying that if you give $10, you get $100. I'm not saying that. When you get things back, it can be so much deeper than money. But I implore you, as a strategy and as a system, set up a system to give this year, because you will see payoff in your life and so much more. Your happiness, your peace of mind, all of those things can be tied to giving. For it says it's better to give to receive, and I felt that so deeply in my life. The last thing I would say, that you set up a system to check your system. So I want you once a quarter or every 3 months, I want you to check your system. So I want you to automate these things, but I want you to see, do I have a lot of money left over after each pay period? Or am I spending a lot of money on frivolous things that I could be upping the amount of money that I'm saving? I could be upping the amount of money I'm giving to my retirement. I could ramp up my debt repayment money that I'm putting towards my mortgage, or I could actually pay those 2 payments and actually slide a little bit more to my mortgage. I want you to evaluate your system, that you put in quarterly, because consistency beats striving. When you are consistent, even if it's a small amount, it's going to beat you trying to be inconsistent, giving large amounts, or trying to do things when you have it all together. I implore you this 2026, do not try to just set goals, because goals are what you want to get done. But I want you to set up a system that forces you to get it done. I'll tell you this story about myself, and then I'll get ready to end this video. But I remember having a system of brushing my teeth, and I used to brush my teeth with baking soda and peroxide. And so I would brush my teeth. And for years, this worked. I never, never seen cavities. I never seen anything. But I had a child, and I guess, I don't know what happened, but it quit working. My system quit working. I would get no cavities just by doing that. And so I was striving to do all of these things. I go to the dentist and I pay $200 something to get these cavities filled. They would tell me to buy a water pick that was like 60 something bucks. They would tell me, they gave me medicated toothpaste to address these things. But the one thing that I didn't have in my system was the cheapest thing that I needed, which was floss, because all my cavities were getting in between my teeth. And so I was doing everything but flossing. And so you guys, sometimes we do everything but the small little thing that makes the difference, that moves the needle. So I did all this, and they were like, well, have you bought an electric toothbrush? I was spending $28 on medicated toothpaste. All of these things. You guys, I picked up flossing consistently. I floss every day, once a day. When I went to the dentist, I just went to the dentist in December, and they were like, oh, I was like, oh, you didn't use that one thing. It's like a water system that breaks up the plaque in your teeth. She's like, oh, I didn't need to. She said, oh, your teeth look good. You've been flossing, you floss and you're using your medicated toothpaste. I'm like, yeah, I've been flossing. You guys, sometimes you have to change your system. You have to put a system in place, and you have to consistently do it. And sometimes just avoiding the small things, you're like striving, and you feel like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, but you haven't put together an emergency fund. You haven't done the one thing that would save you all of the headache that you're striving for. The one thing, it doesn't cost you much. It may cost you a little overtime. It may cost you a second job for a small period of time, but once it's set up, you can have so much peace of mind. So I tell you this weird story, but I tell you this is sometimes you guys are trying to do everything but the right thing, everything but the little thing that will make the difference. So I'm telling you, put these systems in place and do the right thing so that it doesn't cost you later, because all of these things not being in place will cost you more than just putting them aside and doing them now, because you're going to pay. If you don't put money in your retirement now, you're going to have to work your entire life. And you can start today sacrificing so that your tomorrow can be better. You can start, if you don't have an emergency fund, an emergency is going to pop up, and it's going to cost you anyway. And it's going to cost you in interest payments to credit cards, because you're going to have to find a way to do it, or borrow money from loved ones and hearing their mouth. It's going to cost you. You're going to pay the cost. So let's pay the cost up front for the thing that is needed, and not the thing, and not have to pay later. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to you. If you want, let me know in the comments, what is the one system that you are going to put in place? Is that separating your mortgage into 2 payments? Is that starting to figure out an amount you want to save this year and automating that? Is that looking into your retirement and figuring out what percentage you want to give? And or is that upping that percentage? Whatever it is that giving generous and setting up reoccurring giving with the church that you go to? Whatever that might be, I implore you to start today. Let me know what system you are putting in place for your new year so that your 2026 can end with a bang. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.